Sweet, tender mercy, like a gentle rain, kindness seen and unseen, everything sustains. In you I take refuge, in you my heart takes flight. Secret of the secrets, darkness into light. Sweet, tender mercy, keep me from all harm. Preserve me and protect me. Make me safe and strong. Draw me ever closer. Turn my heart towards you. Tender of the tender, subtle, rare and true. Sweet, tender mercy, like a gentle rain, kindness seen and unseen, everything sustains. In you I trust, in you I hope, in you my heart's set right. The secret of the secrets, darkness into light. Sweet, tender mercy,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our service for Sunday, November the 7th, 2021. From those of us here in person to those of you viewing online, we welcome you, and your presence enriches our communal experience. During this hour together, let's consider the ever-present grace of divine order. That's what we're going to talk about today. Even at times when our surroundings feel at the mercy of chaos, the organizing force of good is at work. We affirm in those moments of doubt that faith is the engine that keeps our momentum focused. Now let's welcome back, and we're so pleased to have Sue Young and Rusty Nelson as we sing our welcome song together. And if you'd like, please stand.
So this is a song by our friend John Emery. If you don't know it, you'll catch on pretty quick. We are family, we have a name. Love is our family name. We are family, we have a name. Love is our family name. Love surrounds us on this day. That's why we sing. That's why we say we are family. We have a name. Love is our family name. We're going to do it again. We are family. We have a name. Love is our family name. We are family. We have a name. Love is our family name. Love surrounds us. Love surrounds us on this day. That's why we sing. That's why we say we are family. We have a name. Love is our family name. Love is our family name.
Good morning, everyone. Please. I am seeing double. Good morning, everyone. Please join me as we affirm our statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church. We are an open-hearted spiritual community, powerfully transforming the world by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission together, inspired by our shared spiritual awakening. We offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. And today's daily word for Sunday, November 7th is divine order. And the affirmation is, I live in harmony with divine order. Life is in constant motion, even if that motion is imperceptible to us. When I feel stuck in a place or impatient with my progress, I consider the gradual yet orderly pattern of the seasons as they change. The golden leaf I noticed one day will become part of the blaze of color just a few weeks later. The brisk chill in the morning air will lead to biting cold and snow. The first tender seedlings of spring will bring blooms and a verdant canopy, followed by long, sultry days of summer. Little by little, one season turns into the next. My growth and understanding may happen in much the same way. Even if I don't notice the changes day to day, my life is always in motion and always in order. And with today's quote from James, you see that faith was active along with his works, and faith was brought to completion by the works. And now with our gathering prayer is Abby Vasek.
Namaste. Namaste. Take a deep breath with me so we can gather into prayer. Get centered. Divine, holy God, source of all that is. I attune myself now with my higher frequency so that I may remember I am that. I am source expressing I am limitless. I am supported in all I do by the flow of source energy and divine intelligence. And as my Navajo medicine man friend would say, this is good. This is good, because all too often, God, I feel lost. I feel so confused. I feel small. I feel resentful. I feel so many things that point to a direction other than the knowing, the higher knowing that all is well. I lean in these moments on the powers, the attributes of God that we know are true, and I call on the power of faith and the power of understanding. And I trust that this situation and circumstances, that all situations and circumstances are aligning for my highest good. Of course they are, because I am God. I remember I am the source expressing. And for this understanding, I am so deeply grateful for the peace that this allows me. I am so incredibly grateful, God. With this, I thank you. Amen.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
It's so nice to have your gentle presence with us again today, Sue and Rusty. Thanks for being here with us. Before we begin with the talk today, we have just a special little announcement sharing with you. Today, Grace Calvinese, would you come up and speak to our folks? It's so good to see you again. Come up and speak with everyone about what you've been up to, girl. You can take your minute, yeah.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to see all of you again. I'm so emotional right now. So last Saturday, me and Kaysen were able to drive up to Dallas and have a ceremony, long awaited for, installation ceremony for the new regional officers of the South Central Region youth program. And there are 4 of them. Dylan is one of them. I'm so proud of them for stepping up in this time. It was not easy, but Kaysen and Faith and I and Alex were very persistent in getting the last legacy rally happening in person. And it was the first rally, in-person rally, since COVID happened. And it was absolutely phenomenal. I know that I felt like giving up a lot in the past year, 2 years. And at that rally, it just all came back to me about why we do this and why we dedicated ourselves to the region and to the unity movement in general. And it gave me so much hope that people, after having such a long time of not having unity in their lives and not having YOU in their lives, that people were still interested in stepping up and leading, rallies for the next year and, leading their fellow YOUers that they've been growing up with. And so it is just, beyond me to be telling you guys this, and it's kind of sad because I can't go to any more YOU programs or YOU events, and I'm going to miss that very, very much. But I am so, so honored to have done that and to have been able to continue to do that throughout the hardship of, losing our consultants. That was the beginning of all of it, and it was very, very rough for all of us. Officers at the time, our team just completely got torn apart, and then to rebuild that during COVID with a new consultant was, to say the least, hard, but worth it, so worth it to see these new Regis being inducted last Saturday and being able to be there in person and, just knowing that the region is in good hands and that we have lots to look forward to in this next year. And sometimes things have to completely fall apart to rebuild something better and something that is even more aligned with the unity movement and what we're all about. So, yeah. Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to be up here and not cry. But don't hold me to a time. I think I could stop right here. And we could have meditation, take the offering, sing a song, and go home. And y'all be out of here by 11:30. So, but sorry, I'm going to talk anyway. So, today's about divine order, and our daily word was about divine order, and Abby's meditation was about divine order. And I didn't know when I came in today that Grace was going to be here and that we'd have the opportunity to hear from her. And so it's easy to look at that and say, oh, yeah, boy, that's divine order right now. Ow, sorry, I have a little tendon issue here, so I have to be careful. Yeah, I cannot get emphatic with this hand today. Didn't know this was going to happen. But how beautiful that it did, because it perfectly illustrates not only what I'm going to talk about today, but it also illustrates that spark of hope that we need. That spark of hope that gives us something to look forward to in the future for ourselves and for the generations coming after us. If these kids can do this, if these young people can pull something up from their toes and produce what you guys produced to come together, I think we can handle whatever's coming down our path, don't you? I watched the ceremony. Rhonda posted the installation on Facebook, and I watched Dylan being installed. And I watched him and seeing him from when he was younger and just not totally comfortable in his own skin like we all go through in adolescence. And watching you, my dear, and your sister, and Kaysen, and all the others that have passed through here, watching you go through the struggles and the growth of adolescence, the beauty of adolescence, the purity of your focus is an inspiration to me. And folks, I would just like to ask you if you'd be willing to offer your forever support to Grace and Faith and all our other young people as they move beyond the YOU experience and on to the next phase of their young adulthood. If you are willing to do that, would you please say, we do? We do. Take that into your heart, sister. Okay, reset. What I was going to say. This is the beauty of, for me, of what I get to do, is to be able to move with the flow of things and make course corrections as needed. I want to share with you a story that some of you have heard in full or in part, but I just want to illustrate something from the best perspective that I have, which is my own. I was offered a really good scholarship when I was in high school to go to Baylor for 2 years, and well, for the first year. And then the 2 kids out of 10 that did the best academically in their freshman year got their scholarship renewed. Excuse me. Anybody else having problems with this? Just love the changing of the seasons. For real, I do, but... So I got the scholarship during my sophomore year, and then the recession of 74 and 75 hit, and the value of my scholarship was cut in half. And I found it out about 6 weeks before my junior year was to start. My parents couldn't afford it. I wasn't savvy about student loans, if they even had decent student loans back then. So I took a different course and ended up going to work for the federal government and worked for the Internal Revenue Service for a while. Go ahead. Just go ahead and react to that. I was on the taxpayer service end of things and really loved doing that because I got to work with individual taxpayers and with small businesses and felt like I was making a difference for people to be in compliance and understand what was going on. And I had an opportunity to apply for a position working with American citizens overseas in any number of embassies around the world. So I applied for that position, and one Friday afternoon I got notified that I was one of the finalists out of the whole country for the one of the positions. And they wanted me in Washington, D.C. on Monday. So I flew to Washington, had a great interview, a really good interview, got good response from it, and they said, we're going to get back with you as soon as we can. We've got to do top security clearances for all the candidates to make sure everybody gets through, and then we can make our decision. So I was back in Dallas, and they were telling me at work, well, you know, if you leave for a year or 18 months and all the progress you've made here in Dallas is just going to go down the drain, you young, ambitious 25-year-old person. And I listened to that, and I withdrew my application. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I thought I had made the right move. It turns out that by not going, I met my previous husband. So you kind of know how that's going to end. But I met my previous husband, and that was a lovely marriage until it wasn't. And I went to an upper-level position. I was progressing very quickly through the ranks and went to an upper-level position, but it was in collections, and I hated it. And I was working a lot of hours. And boy, there was a Sunday I was working overtime, and I think I had put in about 65 hours that week. And I was at work on a Sunday afternoon, and my boss, this was back when lady bosses were trying to be like man bosses. So I had two lady bosses that were like men, in the sense that they thought they had something to prove, so they overcompensated. Do you remember those days, my women friends, my male friends? Yeah. Be glad you didn't live then, honey. It wasn't pretty. We were finding our way. And so I was crying in the bathroom on a Sunday afternoon working overtime, and I went, well, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So I quit, started graduate school, started teaching, found unity, went to ministerial school, divorced that husband, went to Austin for my first ministerial position to work with the minister that had been my first teacher up in Arlington, my first unity teacher. I went to work for her in Austin. Great teacher, terrible boss. Terrible boss. She was so hard to work for. And I thought, what have I gotten myself into? I've gotten another lady boss that's really, really difficult. But it taught me a lot. It taught me lessons like miracle grow lessons. Like, grow up right now. Get this lesson right now. So that was a big part of my early growth. And I continue to be a minister, and here I stand. And I started back, thank you. I started back there losing my scholarship to Baylor. So it's easy for me to look back across that span. You remember I talked the other day about how we can look at our timeline and go, yeah, that all makes sense. I can understand all of it now. And the same thing that helps us understand all of that back then is also what helps us to understand what's coming that we can't see yet. It's the very same faculty. And so starting back there, moving up to where I am today, it all makes sense. But anywhere along the way, I could have said, okay, I'm going to get a student loan. I'm going to stay at Baylor. I'm going to continue to major in music history. What I really, really wanted to do was to write notes for album covers. Like for classical music, and all kinds of music, album covers. They're just now coming back, you see. You know, we had to get through 8-track tapes, cassette tapes, CDs, and now we're coming back around to vinyl or streaming. But that's what I wanted to do with my life. I could have made that choice. I could have made the choice to stay with the IRS. I could have made the choice not to go to that church that I found in the phone book in Arlington that changed my life forever in 1987. I could have not married that man. I could have gone to an embassy somewhere around the world. I could have died in a random embassy bombing. The man I married before didn't want to have any children. He made that decision medically, if you know what I mean. And I was okay with that because I was in my 20s and I didn't really think I wanted to have kids. But I had to go through the learning and the experience of that 10-year marriage and all the places we went, all the people we knew, all the things we learned from each other. I had to go through that in order to meet the father of my children. Surprise, I had children at 42. You know, now they're 24. Can't believe it. And they enrich my life every day. So at any point, if you ever read that Richard Bach book called One, it had all the, was that the name of it? It had all the different potentialities, illusions, thank you. All the different paths that you can take. And how each one of those is a good path. It's a good path. So when I speak about divine order today, that's to reinforce that when we affirm that something is in divine order, we are acknowledging that there is something at work that is greater than possibly our current understanding of it, that God is present in everything. Now, most of the time when we speak in New Thought, we're speaking of you having a choice. We're speaking of free will as a gift. We are speaking in terms that are absolute and terms that are relative. We are speaking of God that is transcendent and God that is immanent. What I'm going to ask you to do today is to make a consideration of whether you believe God is in everything or if you believe that God is selective about where God's going to be. That God is in these things, but not these. Because I'm guessing that if you move into that way of thinking, you're probably assigning a personality to God. You're assigning some human attributes to God that have to do with what we do as human beings, that have to do with God being precocious, God being punishing, God teaching us a lesson. I don't think that's the God we have. We don't have that God. I think if you're in this room or if you're watching us online, you've probably already moved toward a new way of thinking about God. Maybe you've had it for a while, but you can no longer embrace the idea of God as that other thing. Some personality that's looking down at you here on earth and going, I'm going to thwart those plans. Yep, I see which direction they're going. That's not it. Oh, you're picking out that person? Go ahead, but not the way it works. The more I look at divine order, the more I understand and the more I don't. There's the paradox. Because divine order is not only something that exists, but it's something that we're in partnership with. Divine order has to do with our perception. Was divine order present even when I didn't know about divine order? Of course it was. Did I believe that there was some predestined path for me to take? No, I do not. Do I believe that if I say, oh, it's all in divine order, that I'm just using a fancy New Thought way of saying it's God's will? Beloved, if I ever hear any of you use that on somebody else, either one of those terms, you and I are going to have a little talk. Because that is what you've heard me refer to as metaphysical malpractice. Do not do that on somebody else. Don't do that to yourself. Do not say, oh, well, I guess it's just divine order. Because I'm not sensing that you're embracing it when you say it that way. I am sensing that you are surrendering yourself to things beyond your control. Well, you can do that. We do that. You can just say, well, it's out of my hands. But is it really? Is it really out of your hands? The circumstances may not be out of your hands, but the way you perceive them is. That's in your hands. That's in your ballpark. So I'd like for you to think for just a moment about a time in your life where things happened and you received an unexpected blessing. You just went, oh my gosh, look at divine order at work. This is amazing. Can you think of a time like that? Yeah, it's just great, isn't it? Wow, look how divine order worked for me. Now, you know I'm going to ask you to think of a time in which it wasn't quite so obvious. Well, hello, Spartacus. He did come right in the back door. I saw him come in. Bye-bye, kitty. Not everybody can take a kitty into church. Divine order would have this cat believing, as do many cats, that they are entitled to whatever they want. They do, don't they? Yep, this is what I'm going to do. I watched my cat the other day, as a matter of fact. One of my sons that will remain nameless, when we went to the Renaissance Fair down near Houston last weekend, got a lightsaber, a really good lightsaber. And I say, if you're too old for toys, you're just too old. You got to have toys. So he got himself a lightsaber, and I caught one of our cats the other day just kind of with the lightsaber doing that cat thing, you know, about to knock it off the table. And I said, you better rescue your... I can't believe I said these words in my own house. You better rescue your lightsaber before the cat breaks it. Words I never thought I'd say. So he got his lightsaber and he turned it on and waved it at the cat. And the cat was like, pow, 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 pow. Pow, pow. And then ran away. But for a moment, he thought he was in charge. For a moment, he was going to defeat the evil empire. And so we can have our illusion that we're in control. But there is a point where we just have to be a leaf on the river and ride it. And then there are times when we say, this is not working. Let me try changing course. Let me listen and see if there's something I can do differently. And before all that, we say, I wonder how I can think of this differently. I wonder if I can see the blessing in this before I see the blessing in this. You know? Now, if you're a skeptic, or if you're a pessimist, or if you have kind of a sardonic view of life, you might say that these words are ways for us to comfort ourselves amidst the chaos of life. But is it chaos, really? Is it? I mean, what is chaos? It's a word that we've assigned to events and circumstances that seem like they're out of control. We can either choose to see it all as chaos and we're just along for the ride and we'll make the best of it, or we can choose to see it as a divine design for which we cannot see all the moving parts. Oh, my Lord, if we could, we would be omniscient and we wouldn't need to be here. But here we are, humans, gifted with these bodies, these lives, these companions, this beautiful world we live in. God willing, we don't destroy it. But we've got this all around us so that we get to prove the infinite. We are the proof of divinity. No pressure, but that's what we're here for, is to prove God. Not test God, but prove God. We're the living evidence of God. So we have this natural world around us that shows us the order in the chaos, don't we? We have the cycles of life and death and seasons changing, and the mother shaking off the fleas periodically, burning off the stuff that doesn't need to be here anymore. We have a decision about how we're going to treat that organism that we're living upon and within. We also have a choice about how it's going to be for our brothers and sisters on the planet. We get to determine what part of social action we want to take. That's part of divine order too. That great restlessness for us to do something to benefit life, no matter how it looks. You'll hear later about how we benefit the Crisis Bread Basket and Amigos de Jesus here in Wimberley. Every little bit making a difference. Every elevation of consciousness that we have making a difference for all of consciousness. We had a big discussion, oh my Lord. Unity ministers have a Facebook group that's private. A lot of times it's just a good way to share resources with each other, to give each other the benefit of our own experiences to help others in their churches. But oh my Lord, it can also devolve into discussions that just go on and forever and just give a minister a forum in which to speak, and man, oh man. And you get a bunch of them together and... So we had a big discussion this week about an old term that has been around in Unity since at least the Fillmores, probably before, but the Fillmores put into our lexicon race consciousness, which really means collective human consciousness. And then that's been expanded upon by modern psychology. But race consciousness, somebody was comparing it to the racial issues that we're looking at today, and everybody's like, nah, that's not what we're talking about. You know, the way our racism and our biases are part of collective human consciousness, and in order for that to be healed, We all have to heal our own part of it. So that's just an example of using what you have to contribute to the evidence of divine order, the evidence of our contribution through divine inspiration. And there are different areas in life in which we can participate in bringing order, in demonstrating order, in affirming order. Now, I just want to clear up one thing. I am not talking about, when I talk about divine order, when I'm talking about God being at work in everything, that doesn't mean predestination. I don't teach predestination in New Thought. That would mean that all of those different paths and choices that you might choose, that you might take, all those different things would show us already that predestination is not a thing. It's not like God bumps you and says, no, not that path, this one. You do that, beloved. You do that. You do that from an awareness. But even if you make a choice that you look back at later and go, wow, maybe I shouldn't have done that, is that not still in order? It is. I looked for many years upon that choice not to go for that foreign embassy position that I could have had. Gone, wow, I should have done that. Boy, should-haves will keep you mired in it. I should have, I could have, I didn't, but that's just a mental exercise that really doesn't take us anywhere. It uses up good energy and we can't change it. We made the choice. Now, what will we do with the choices that we made? What will we do? Even if tragedy, oh man, even when tragedy strikes us, we have the decision, we have the choice to say, how shall I see this, God, in your grace, in your grace, in your grace, let me see clearly. And beloved, even if you carry a wound for the rest of your life, your wound is part of your holiness. It is part of your holiness, beloved. I have a friend. She had been a nun. He had been a priest. They met each other. They married. Joyously happy with each other. Just getting started on their retirement years together. And he got brain cancer. And after 2 years of really giving cancer a run for its money, he died. And we all wept with her because he was such a great man, such a kind, joyous man to know. And of course we say, why? And we don't always get the answer we want. Sometimes we don't feel like we get the answer at all. But we do know that we can look at the good qualities in those that have passed beyond this life, and we can decide how to incorporate those good qualities and the changes that came about in our lives because we knew them. We can assimilate all of that and live a more awake life because of it. So now my friend has cancer. And she's been going through chemo and radiation. And I just found out yesterday that now she has surgery scheduled for December. And this is one of those cancers where she had to have treatment just to get to the point where she could have surgery. And then we'll have more treatment after. So the surgery is scheduled in December on the day of her 80th birthday. Yuck. Except, not unsurprisingly, she announced to all of us that her choice is to give thanks that there is treatment available to her and that she is availing herself of it. so that she may live a full life every day that she has. That's her choice. Now, she could make a different choice. She could make the choice to be angry. She could make the choice to not cooperate with that element of grace that's already living in her. She could make lots of choices to do it differently. But this is what she has chosen. She's choosing to see the order of things as they are. And that's a huge piece of it for us, isn't it? Coming to peace with what is. That's divine order too. Saying, yes, I see this. I do. I don't understand it fully. And yet I am open to seeing. I am open. I am willing. I walk with God, even in the dark places, knowing that divine order is right here, right now. I know that whatever I choose, that presence abides with me, and I abide with it. I'm not asking you an easy thing today, my friends, to see and affirm divine order in all things. We live in a world right now in which it's difficult to do that. It's hard to affirm divine order if we are us and they are them. It serves us nothing to hold those distinctions. It only serves us in that it informs us on what our next right action is, on what our next right words are, on when to hold our tongue, on when to bring ourselves into alignment yet again. And really, if I were to bring it down to one simple thing, it's cooperate with God or don't. That sounds pretty legalistic, but you can go along with knowing that God is present all the time, everywhere. Sorry, I keep getting in the air conditioning here. God is present all the time, everywhere, or God isn't. It really is that choice. It's that choice. That's the one you're going to make over and over and over again. God is in this. God is in this. God is in this. And when you're with others who may not think and believe the same way you do, use your words judiciously. Don't slap somebody with what you know by saying, oh, you know God's in this. Maybe true but not helpful. Maybe true but not kind. You can know it for them. You can affirm it for them. That's what your prayer work is about. I'm going to stop talking now because the divine order of things would have me do so. Because we have the divine order of time, a human construct that keeps us within certain parameters. Beloved, let's pray. And let's take that word cooperate and change it maybe to partner with. Will you partner with God in all things? Will you let divine order be your beacon? If you're facing a challenge right now, I want you to imagine that deep in your heart, there's a sacred place. It might be the dark safety of a cave. It might be a placid pool. It might be a great marble altar. I want you to take whatever might be troubling you today and just put it there in that sacred place. Say, whatever this is, divine order is in the midst of it. Let my heart understand. Let my eyes see. Let my ears hear. Let me know that my soul's journey is sacred in every step, whether I'm awake or asleep. Let that be your prayer. I partner with you, Great Spirit. Let my life be the evidence that you exist. Beloved, even now, events and circumstances are working in every area of your life for your highest good. It is a promise given to us. Let me be clear and logical and mystical. Let me be wise and innocent. Are you willing right now to let the very best of you be used in a way that enriches life? Let your heart answer, yes, today I'm willing. Just for today. Tomorrow we will speak again, God. If today you have heard something that creates a question in you, be at peace with the question and know that the illumination, the answer, the seeing of things is on its way even now. And so for all that is good and true and in divine order, we do give thanks. We let gratitude and faith lead us to a greater understanding now and tomorrow and the day after that. For all of this, we are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Goodness, my friends, you went very deeply, very quickly just now. I thank you for that, for your cooperation with Spirit, for your partnership with Spirit in taking all of us to that greater place. Thank you. And now, with those grateful hearts that we have, let us practice our generosity consciousness as we circulate our prosperity. Unity of Wimberley is a tithing church that propagates the good we receive as an affirmation of our oneness with the divine flow. Each week, we promote and support the work being done by our own Wimberley Crisis Breadbasket. Did you know that this 100% volunteer organization began in 1986? This project of St. Stephen's Episcopal Church was created to provide short-term and long-term nutritional support to our community in need. The Crisis Breadbasket is a grassroots community endeavor that relies totally on community donations. Since March of 2020, Unity of Wimberley has circulated over $4,800 of our good with this vital local organization, and the year's not over yet. We did receive letters this week from the Crisis Breadbasket for our gift, and also from Amigos de Jesus. As we thank you for the gifts that you have sent, we also affirm the gifts that you are sending now. We know that Spirit is working through us to supply all that is needed for our community and beyond. Let's take a moment to bring this truth into our hearts as we prepare our offerings and as our ushers now come forward. As a reminder, here are some ways that you can share your gifts with Unity of Wimberley. You can text GIVE to the number on the screen. Click the Donate button on our website. Mail a check to 455 White Wings Road, Wimberley, Texas, 78676. Tap Give on our church app, and on Venmo, you can search for Unity of Wimberley and find us there. And so now let us offer this affirmation of abundance. Together, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now will you add your energy as we offer this, as we bless these gifts. Together, we bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. Thank you. As we move toward the end of our service, we'd like to take this moment to share a few things. A reminder that if you would like to apply to serve on the Unity of Wimberley Board of Trustees, please email nominations@unityofwimberley.com for an application packet. There are 3 open seats to be filled, and the application deadline is Sunday, November 21st, which is 2 weeks from now. We've already gotten some good requests for applications, and we're pleased. Bruce Kingsley is leading our nominating team, and we appreciate the service of that team and your leadership on it, Bruce. Calling all volunteers. As we begin to return now to in-person church and community events, we have many opportunities for you to practice your generous volunteer spirit. In a way, we're kind of starting anew with everything. There's been a lot of shuffling, migration, changes, difference in the needs of our community. So we do currently have openings for paid staff in our youth and family ministry department. We need volunteers to serve with hospitality, our grounds and property team, our events committee, our wildlife management. There are more. But we have many ways that you can serve. And if you're new to our community, this is a good way to get to know all the people that are in it, is by being on a team where you can see others. And believe me, what you receive back from volunteering your time with one of our teams far exceeds what you put into it. So we hope you'll consider that. If you have any questions, please reach out to Leah at business@unityofwimberley.com for more information. Join us next Sunday, November 14th, as we welcome back Reverend Kit. That's not her, but as we welcome Reverend Kit Holmes back, live and in person, for her talk, The Grace of All Things. For November, let's practice our conscious gratitude as we write each day in the Start with Gratitude journal. Each Wednesday, we'll check in for a short Zoom meeting from 6:30 to 7 for those who wish to share their gratitude. Please get in touch with Leah if you need a copy. We have several at church. You can also order on Amazon and use your Smile account to benefit the church. We had our first gratitude meeting on Wednesday evening, and that half hour was so precious, because as we shared our gratitude with each other, we took it on as part of our gratitude, and it just made everything bigger. It's a beautiful experience. Please tune in to Facebook Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. as Reverend Kit and I share readings, meditations, and affirmations. You can drop off your Feed My People donations in the front foyer, or send a monetary donation directly to the Crisis Breadbasket at P.O. Box 1721, Wimberley, Texas 78676. Leah sent us pictures this week of all the food that had come into our foyer. It's a beautiful thing to see. Please email any questions, concerns, or prayer requests to Kit and or me at minister@unityofwimberley.com and asl@unity@wimberley.com. You can also request an appointment with me or Kit for when she's in town or on the phone at those addresses, or you can email Leah if you'd like to schedule a time to meet with me in person. That's at business@unityofwimberley.com. After our service today, our chaplain, Abby Vasic, is available to pray with you. You can fill out a blue prayer request sheet for the prayer box and a yellow gratitude sheet for our gratitude jar. Both are located on the Fireside Room buffet. If this is your first visit with us, or if you have changed your contact information, there's a blue card that you can fill out on the visitors table in the foyer so that we may connect or reconnect with you. And now, I think we're done for the day. Grace, thanks again for being with us. Thank you, all of you who joined us online today. This has been a beautiful service. Let's stand together and pray our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God present. Okay. Sorry, I got busy. I got lost in Grace's eyes over here. Let's pray together the prayer for protection. I'm going to read the words. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. There it is. I think we're missing power. That's what was missing. All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. For struggle struggle.